Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank the Bangalore Biz Lit Fest for including me over here. This is my first book, and I'd just like to tell you how I kind of got the idea of writing this book and why I wrote it. About 6 years back, I was a little burnt out. I worked in advertising for 16 years. I was very stretched. And for people who work in corporate jobs, you know that pressure is a lot. There's a lot of competition, and if you think to yourself, how many times have you ended up working even though you were on vacation? How easy is it for you to reschedule a call which some overseas partner or client has set at a very inconvenient time for you? These were some of the questions that I felt needed to be answered, that why are we like the way we are? Because Indians rarely ever say no. And when I was going through my burnout, I took a break. And as a marketing professional, my expertise is in consumer behavior, and I rely a lot on market research to do that. So while I was recovering and recuperating, I had a lot of time to introspect, and my whole approach was that, I must be doing something wrong. Initially, while you're in the situation, it's very easy to say there's a toxic environment, there's a toxic boss, there's this client, you blame it on everybody but yourself. But if you take a little break and you have time to introspect, you realize you are contributing somewhere to that situation. And so I thought that I will use my trusty tool of market research to see, what other people know that I don't seem to know. And I felt that if I could put it in a book, it would help me kind of consolidate the learnings. And as it happened, I got a very great market research partner, Quantum Consumer Solutions. They did research for me in October 2019, and they gave me a very good report in February 2020. And then the lockdown happened. So while I was writing the book, everybody in the world started questioning the things that I had been questioning. It was no longer something that was my problem. Everybody, when work reached home and the boundaries started blurring, everyone started questioning, why are we working the way we are, and why can't there be a better way? So I did a lot of surveys through the COVID pandemic, and I updated my book. And I also was lucky to have an expert panel of people. Mr. Ashok Kapoor, who is over here with me, who's a senior management expert. There's Mr. R.R. Nair, who's an HR expert. There's Kalyani Kapoor, who is a psychotherapist. And there's Rohit Krishan Gulati, who is an architect and a workspace design consultant. So, all of them kind of helped me make sense of my findings and to write the book. And what they did which I think is one of the best parts of the book, is the last part of the book, which is not written by me, it's written by the experts. So while I am kind of, doing the planner work of digging out the insights and trying to explain why we are the way we are, they have actually tried to provide some sense of direction of where we could go from here. So thank you very much. That's a little bit about my book.
Thank you so much, Divya. Do we have any questions?
Sounds fascinating. Any quick, what are the major lessons that, you learned?
Yeah, so actually, one of the initial lessons for me was the fact that we always want to belong and be popular and part of the cultures that we want to belong to. So corporate culture is not a culture we are born into. It's something that we choose out of choice and aspiration. And so, how you go to a college or a school and you want to be part of the in crowd, you feel very much the same when you get into corporate culture. So a lot of things, especially when you're young and you're in your first job, they don't make sense to you, but you're a little afraid to question everything because you want to fit in, you want to belong. And so things that, especially because India is a very status-conscious culture, we hesitate to kind of, say no to the boss or to push back very assertively. We are okay doing that with our peers and our juniors, but with our bosses, we are a little careful and sensitive. And so, this is one of the things why I feel, culture is something that's made of all of us. It's not something that happens to us. It's something we contribute to and we perpetuate. So that was one of my key learnings.
We all said we contribute to that. If you want to change that, how do you as an individual go about it? How can you do that?
Yeah, so I think it depends, of course, where you are. So if you're in senior management, you do have more impact than if you're further down the food chain. But I think a lot of it is also how we respond to what we are told to do. So, for example, if you take Generation Z, which is the latest generation to join the workforce, a lot of people, especially my contemporaries, when they are managing these people, they'll come back and they'll say things like, I told them to do this work, and they just said, the weekend is my personal time, and I'll do it on Monday. you know, and while we are complaining about them, this is something that we wish we could have done with our bosses, right? But we didn't. You know, so it is a little thing of, you know, deciding what is okay with us, what is not okay with us, and being brave enough to say, to draw that line, the boundary, you know. If you see, when you do a global conference call, there could be people from every country in the world, but if you ask a European or an American to do it at 6 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. their time, they are likely to refuse the call. But a lot of Indians tend to do it saying, you know, that's the only time we can get it and all, and we are so committed to work. As Indians, we feel, you know, we have to show that we are committed to our work, and the way we show it is by working extra overtime, working on weekends and holidays, and being always available.
Is that really an option? Because if you say no, your job is on the line.
I think that's the whole thing, that, you know, is it, it's collectively and individually. As individually, you can do so much, but as collectively, especially when we're senior management, if we see the culture as unhealthy and not helping us, then we need to find ways, make it okay to say no, okay to push back. You know, one of the things that I discovered was when I was burning out, I felt that, you know, I'm working 24/7, I should be appreciated, I should be acknowledged. But the fact was that because I was stretching myself so thin, my work quality was really bad. You know, so instead of being appreciated, I was being criticized, I was being told I'm not good enough, and the frustration of not being able to do my job the way I wanted to do it got to me. And after I took the break, I realized, you know, if I just kind of given myself a little bit of a break, taken a little bit more time, I could have, you know, done a better job. Instead, I kind of forced myself with my back to the wall, and I don't think it was entirely somebody else pushing me, it was also me pushing myself.
All right, let's give Divya Khanna a big round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And requesting Swati Jena to kindly felicitate Divya, please. Thank you. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you once again.